Yo, what is good, Knicks Nation? Welcome back to Knicks Media. This is Richie, and this is going to be the second episode on the brand new series I created here on my channel, where I bring you guys my player profiles for every single player on the New York Knicks. My first episode included me breaking down RJ Barrett. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you guys did not see it, make sure you do so. I'll leave the link down below in the description. And this one, as you could tell from the title, I'll be talking about third-year center Mitchell Robinson. Before I hop into the video, I just want to mention, if you guys are interested in 20% off on any product over on manscaped.com, make sure you use my code RICHIENY. It's really good for holiday presents. It is just an excellent deal over there. Make sure you go check it out. I'll leave that link down below in the description as well. With that being said, let's jump right into my take on Mitchell Robinson. So before I hop into his strengths and weaknesses, I want to talk about my overall take on Mitchell Robinson as a center in the NBA. He's coming off his second career season in the NBA, and he broke Wilt Chamberlain's record for the highest field goal percentage in league history. Let that sink in. Mitchell Robinson is in the record books. I know there's a little asterisk on that record because the season did get cut short, so he did not play a full 82-game season and get that record, but Mitchell Robinson finished with 74.2% from the field, and that is the highest field goal percentage in league history. So Mitchell Robinson is extremely efficient. He's a freak athlete that can go up there and catch the lobs. He's a rim protector. He's a guy that we're going to build around, and I think he's going to flourish in Tom Thibodeau's system. So that's really my overall take on him. I don't want to get too deep into him right now because I'm going to break down his strengths, his weaknesses, my projected stats for him, and all that good stuff like I did in the RJ Barrett video. So let's jump right into his 2019 stats. So last year, Mitchell Robinson averaged 9.7 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, zero point 0.6 assists, 2 blocks per game, 0.9 steals, 74.2% from the field, which is a record, and 56.8% from the free throw line. So these are his 2019 stats. I think that in his second year, this is what I kind of expected from him. I wanted to see Mitchell Robinson take that step, especially in the rebounding aspect of things. I think 7 rebounds per game is definitely solid. I want to see him get, at least 10 points per game or higher this year. I'm going to bring you guys my projected stats as well. But what stands out to here is definitely his 2 blocks per game, which is phenomenal, and obviously his field goal percentage. He is extremely efficient down low, and he's a guy that can just absolutely dunk on you whenever the time comes. He needs a playmaker in order for him to put points up on the board, and I think that he's an overall bruiser, and I'm really excited for Mitchell Robinson. I think these stats in his second year, especially for a second-round pick, are really good. So here are my projected stats for Mitchell Robinson in this season. I think he can come away with 14.8 points per game, 9.1 rebounds, 0.8 assists, 2.5 blocks, 1 steal per game, and 70.2 from the field with 67% from the free throw line. So I try to come up with these realistic projections. These can definitely be way off or on the money, but let me know down below if you guys agree with this. If you disagree, let me know your projected stats for Mitchell Robinson. I'm really curious to see what you expect from him in this third season. I think that the biggest component to Mitchell Robinson putting up big numbers is his foul trouble. I feel like there's a lot of games where he would have put up way better numbers. He had 3 fouls right away, so he cannot stay on the floor because he is in foul trouble. I think he could definitely come away with 14.8 points per game, like I said, if he stays on the floor. And another big component is, can the playmakers give him the ball? Is Mitchell Robinson going to be part of the plan? Is he going to be running the pick and rolls? Is he going to be catching the alley-oops? Another big aspect to his game that we have not seen yet is his outside shooting. Is Tom Thibodeau going to let Mitchell Robinson shoot the ball from 3? Because we see him in the gym shooting these 3-pointers, and then he looks wet. I've never seen him take a mid-range shot. I've never seen him take a 3-point shot. If he can unlock that side of his game, watch out, because Mitchell Robinson is about to become an absolute superstar, because he is an absolute beast down low. He can block you. He can dunk on you. And if he can start spacing the floor, oh my gosh. So these are my projected 2020 stats for Mitchell Robinson. Again, if you guys agree with them, please let me know down below what your projected stats are. So let's get into his strengths and weaknesses. So I'm going to start off with his weaknesses. The obvious one that every Knicks fan knows is he's always in foul trouble. So Mitchell Robinson, he came off the bench last year because he was always in foul trouble. Taj Gibson started over him. I do not think that was the right move. I feel like Mitchell Robinson needed to be out there and learn how to be disciplined in order to not, get into foul trouble right away. He needs to be out there and be disciplined because he's so relentless when he's down low. He wants to block every shot, and his body type is so long, and he just always gets in foul trouble. Do I think head coach Tom Thibodeau is going to get inside of his head and make sure he does not do that? Yes, I have all my confidence in Thibodeau as a head coach in order to, get the best out of Mitchell Robinson defensively. And I think that he knows that foul trouble is a big issue with him, and I'm not too worried about it. I feel like Mitchell Robinson coming out of the draft was a raw piece of clay that needed to get molded, and I feel like he's way ahead of schedule. I felt like when we drafted him, I'm like, okay, he's a raw athlete that did not play in college, and he's going to be a 3 to 5 year project, but he is already exploding, and I think this foul trouble will get solved this year, at least I hope. And another weakness I have is free throw shooting. He shot 56% from the free throw line. I think that he has potential to at least be a 65% from the free throw line for a center, which is pretty solid, I would say. He has a solid motion. I feel like he's going to get better at the free throw line. There were some times last year where he hit like 10 free throws in a row, I noticed. I'm like, wow, Mitchell Robinson does have touch from the free throw line. So if he can improve this, that will be a huge boost because he's definitely going to get hauled down low, especially if he's going to try to dunk on people. And yeah, this is definitely a weakness. And another weakness I have is he lacks mid-range to long-range shooting. I do think that he has the jump shot. The reason why I have this as a weakness is because we have not seen him take one three-pointer or barely any mid-range shots in game. We see all the footage of him in the gym, in an open gym of Mitchell Robinson lighting it up, but we have not seen it in the NBA. So that's why it's a weakness, and I really hope that this coaching staff lets Mitchell Robinson shoot the ball, because if that gets unlocked, Mitchell Robinson is going to be a problem in the NBA. I mentioned this earlier in the video because, again, if Mitchell Robinson can start knocking down the three or even a mid-range jump shot, that's going to unlock his game to another level. And I have this as a weakness because we have not seen him do that so far. And the last weakness I have is he does not have a post game. Centers in this league, usually, the really good centers can post you up. They can get a nice post hook. They can beat you down low. They can do a nice little shimmy, a post fadeaway. They can just beat you down low in the post. Mitchell Robinson doesn't have that in his game. And maybe it's not the biggest weakness because he's the guy that's going to catch the alley-oops and just dunk on you and get the ball down low and put it up and absorb contact. So maybe it's not the biggest weakness, but it's definitely something that lacks from his game. So I'm definitely going to bring it up because I want to see if he can put on more muscle, because I also feel like Mitchell Robinson's really skinny, but he's so long and athletic where it kind of makes up for it. And he has long strides with his legs, and his wingspan is ridiculous where he can block shots with his left hand, right hand, doesn't matter. But I do want to see him evolve in the post game, because if he can, again, get a nice mid to long range jump shot with the post game, then Mitchell Robinson is going to be a top 5 center in the NBA. I'm not saying he's going to do it, but if he does, watch out. Okay, so let's move on from his weaknesses and get into his strengths for Mitchell Robinson. First strength that jumps out of the table is definitely his blocking. He averaged 2.0 blocks per game last year, and he is on pace to break a lot of Knicks records for blocking. He has a natural ability to go out there and block. He's a rim protector. He can block with his left hand, his right hand. How many times do we see Mitchell Robinson block a three-point shot, which is phenomenal? When Mitchell Robinson's in the paint, he sees somebody wide open in the corner. You see Mitch sprint out there, jump up, and block it into the stands. That is just next-level stuff, athleticism. That doesn't happen. That's like Zion Williamson stuff right there. Mitchell Robinson as a blocking guy is next level. And I feel like we have not seen his ceiling yet. I think Tom Thibodeau as a head coach is going to unlock that even more. His next strength I have listed is his efficiency. I mean, he broke the NBA record for highest field goal percentage in league history, so this definitely is a strength. When he gets the ball down low, he puts it in the rim. He always finishes the game with a high field goal percentage, whether he's 7 for 8, 5 for 6. He never really has a game where he's shooting less than 50%. He just knows how to put the ball in the rim. And obviously, this is a big reason is because he does not shoot the ball outside. If he does start shooting threes and mid-range jump shots, then his field goal percentage will drop because that is way less percent of going in. If the only thing that he's doing is catching alley-oops, dunking the ball, putting up layups down low, then that is why his field goal percentage is so high. But that's still a good thing that he can, he has a knack for putting the ball into the rim down low. Another strength I have is athleticism. This jumps out to the table. If you have Mitchell Robinson in the open floor on a fast break, he's going to dunk on you. He just has the ability to sprint down the floor. He's really fast. He can dunk on you. He can block. He's just so versatile as an athlete, and I feel like his athleticism is very underrated. When he gets the ball down low, he can jump up so fast and dunk on you. He has that really quick ability to go up there and get the ball. Another strength I have is his rebounding. I feel like his rebounding is another part of his game that he needs to evolve. He averaged 7 rebounds per game, which is pretty good for a second year. I want to see if he can get up to 9 or even 10 rebounds per game, because that's another big aspect to a center that you want. I definitely have it as a strength because it's not something he lacks. He goes up there, he's relentless. Has that Energizer Bunny aspect to his game where offensive rebounds, he gets a lot of them. Putbacks, he's just a really overall athletic center that you want on your team. Another strength I have is, which is probably the best one in terms of highlight stuff, which is Lob City finisher. If you look up Mitchell Robinson highlights on YouTube, the only thing you'll see, not the only thing, but majority are Mitchell Robinson going out there and catching alley-oops, whether it's with his left hand, his right hand, it's a reverse, it's a crazy two-handed. He is just an absolute stud when it comes to somebody throwing the ball up, whether it's from half court or it's a nice lob down low. Mitchell Robinson goes up there. He can finish through contact, and he has one of the best Lob City finishers I've ever seen. He reminds me of a DeAndre Jordan back in the Lob City days for the LA Clippers, and I think that he's only going to get better. I think he needs to put on more muscle, because when that happens, then he's going to start dunking on people way more. Another strength I have for his, which is another side of the alley-oop game, is dunking. Even though he only catches alley-oops, he can still go up there, get a nice standing dunk in the open floor. If it's a fast break 2-on-1 and, Dennis Smith or Frank Ntilikina or Elfrid Payton has the ball, he could dunk on you no matter what. He is just an absolute stud when it comes to dunking. Another strength I have, which goes along with blocking, is rim protector. He's a guy that can test the shot down low. When he's on the defensive end and the point guard, beats his guy, he's down low, he protects the rim, he can contest it. Even if he doesn't get the block, he just has a very good sense of contesting the layups. And that is another part of his game that needs to get improved on, because he does get in foul trouble, like I mentioned. But I do think this is a strength. He's a presence down low. When players go down low, they know that Mitchell Robinson's down there, and that's just an overall presence you want from your center. And the last strength I have is his sheer size, his length, his physicality, his wingspan. Everything about Mitchell Robinson's physicality is phenomenal. He can block you with his left hand, like I mentioned, and he takes advantage of his size and his wingspan, his arm length. Everything about Mitchell Robinson's game comes from his physicality, his height, his size. Everything about Mitchell Robinson's body, he takes advantage of. And that's what you want to see from your center. So that is really my strengths and weaknesses for Mitchell Robinson. Before I end the video, I'm just going to break down what I expect from him this year. I think he's going to evolve his game. I want to see him take more jump shots. I want to see him catch alley-oops way more often, even though he did it a lot last year. I think that's a huge part of his game that Tom Thibodeau needs to run through. I want to see pick and rolls. I want to see designated plays designs for Mitchell Robinson down low to catch the alley-oop or dunk on people, and maybe he can evolve his post game. I want to see him start posting people up. I want to see him start shooting the ball even mid-range. So that's really what I can see from Mitchell Robinson. I think that his potential is through the roof. I feel like we have not seen what Mitchell Robinson can truly do yet. I think he's only had 2 seasons in the NBA, and this third year could be his breakout season to the point where, okay, Mitchell Robinson is a problem. He's a top center in the NBA. Please let me know down below your opinion on Mitchell Robinson. If you guys think that his potential is sky high, did he reach his potential? Are you worried about his foul trouble? Do you think that his shooting is not going to develop into a true three-point shooting center? Let me know down below. I love hearing you guys' thoughts in the comment section. I appreciate all the love on this channel. I'm so excited to launch this series. Please let me know again in the comment section about the video. Also, smash that like button if you enjoyed, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. That does it for this video. Stay tuned for more Knicks content. Let's go Knicks. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace.